lot of people think of me as this fearless person, and I am in many senses, but obviously I do have my internal demons, as most of us do. So when I know that it's catching up to me, I have my little tricks on how I cope with that. I take a walk along Sloans Lake. That is where I sometimes cry, sometimes just let everything come out, but it's joyful. There are many feelings I experience when I'm there, but more than anything, it's a sense of peace. I live in North Denver, and so Sloans is in really close proximity to me. It is directly west of downtown. It's 2.4 miles, and it takes me exactly 45 minutes to walk around it, which is just enough for me to do that energy exchange. I love what I do, but there is a lot of responsibility when you're serving people who have many needs. And sometimes that responsibility becomes a bit too heavy to carry on your shoulders. So when I, sit at my favorite spot at Sloan's and I stare at the mountains and I hear the sound of water, that's somehow reassuring to me that at least I'm doing it, or I'm trying my best to make that difference. For most refugees, there is this constant sense of uneasiness, and that uneasiness comes of the fear of unknown. Unknown of war hitting your hometown, something you haven't encountered before, and obviously it's a horrible experience. It's the fear of unknown as where do you go next and what to expect. This particular spot, sitting on this tree, takes me way back when I was still a child and visiting my grandpa's farm. There was a beautiful tree on his property adjacent to the creek where I spent a lot of time. It was similarly to what I do at this tree, with the exception that back then I also used to hide there when I got in trouble with Mom. But other than that, it was place where I spend a lot of time dreaming, and nowadays it's really contemplating and reflecting and thinking about what's next. I was born in northern part of Bosnia, in a small town that's just about 20 kilometers from Croatia. Mom, sister, and I grew up in a city, but my grandpa had this beautiful farm where I spent a lot of time. So some of my most fond memories from childhood are from running behind my grandpa and helping him work in the fields and exploring. It's a place where I just absolutely loved it, and I loved living there, and I had zero intentions of ever leaving it. After I graduated from high school, unfortunately, the war broke out at home, and after hiding in a basement for 6 months, one day I finally had the opportunity to escape and run. Took a small duffel bag with me with a passport, pair of jeans, and that was basically it. So 19 years of my life stayed there along with many of my dreams. When I escaped from Bosnia, I went to Germany and joined my parents. And while in Germany, it was the first time where I actually heard the word refugee associated with my name. All of a sudden, I was a refugee, and I hated being labeled that way. Really didn't know what that meant and how I felt about it. So I stayed in Germany for 7 years, graduated from college there, made many friends. But because of their immigration system in Germany, I had to leave once again. I applied for a refugee status in the United States because I couldn't stay where I was and I couldn't go back where I came from. So after being in a process for a couple of years, I received a letter that in a week I'll be moving to the United States and starting my new life. You're caught in a situation where you can't stay where you are, you can't go back, where you came from, and you just have to go into that unknown again, and with the hope that it yields something much better. 2005 was a really big year for me. It was the year I married my love, Greg. It was also a year I gained a new family member in a beautiful chocolate lab, Emily. And it was also a year of me officially being a part of my new home country. I became the U.S. citizen. People have been coming here for over 100 years. There is always lots of geese and pelicans. When I'm at Sloans, I also see such a diverse group of people there.
Come on, we going.
It fills my heart to see that diversity, and also probably honoring the same place where your grandparents or parents used to go, and now you are there bringing your kids to enjoy the same peacefulness and tranquility of Sloans Lake. It worries me a little bit when I see how much gentrification is going on. It's almost daily when I go on a walk, I see new buildings pop up. And I certainly do hope that some of those are really mixed income, and that as long as I'm alive and for the future generations, everybody will be able to experience that same kind of diversity and seeing people from all walks of life when you're there. It's sort of when I'm at Sloans, I bring one energy and I come home with a completely different energy. It helps me just reflect on everything, get rid of what doesn't need to be there, and move forth.